in the last few videos, I've talked a little bit about the school that I'm building and how I've built an app that people can use in order to get themselves organized, become productive, find their life's vision, find their purpose, and then have the accountability based on tracking their behavior in order to advance from where they are to where they're trying to get to. We help people develop a vision, some kind of path for their life. And through the process of taking messy action and just tracking each day progress towards the goal, we can see how we can change from who we were or who we are to who we want to become. What I'm doing through these videos is a demonstration of the messy action principle aimed towards some sort of goal. So my goal is to become really good at making videos, high quality educational content that's also interesting and that has a purpose. That is my goal. The way I'm doing it is I've stated the goal, I've stated it repeatedly, and I believe in my own success. I believe I am capable of accomplishing this, and that the only thing standing in my way of accomplishing that goal is my own commitment. So it's my commitment to post every day for 100 days onto social media to get some sort of feedback, which is another form of accountability, so that I can improve even just a little bit every single day. And by doing so, I move in the direction of my ultimate goal. That action process is called messy action. The aim is called my chief aim. And this process of having accountability is the glue that binds my intention to the actual outcome. That is in large part what it means to go through some sort of coaching program, is that you have somebody else's help to help you refine a vision, and then you have that accountability to demonstrate improvement every single day. However, there is one more key process that really binds it all together. And this is where the mastermind comes in. The concept of the mastermind comes from the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. The book was written between the 1920s Great Depression in the United States and the Second World War. Napoleon Hill interviewed over 500 of America's most accomplished and successful millionaires, billionaires, CEOs, tycoons. He even has accounts from multiple United States presidents in which he investigates their own personal formula for success. What he does is he boils down that formula to 17 key principles, what he calls the 17 soldiers of success. And as you'll see, at the top of the list is having a definite chief aim. So literally every single successful person that Napoleon Hill interviewed, and remember, these are 500 of the most successful people in America. Every single one of them that he interviewed had a clear vision and took precise, meaningful action steps in order to reach that vision and bring it into reality. So the first key soldier of success is to have a clear picture of where we're going and be uncompromising in our willingness to achieve that goal. Now, I've chosen a goal here that I can achieve within 100 days. Within 100 days, I can make enough videos, do these presentations enough times that by the end of it, I'm going to be pretty good. I also have a fair bit of background in academia, in education, in scientific conferencing, public speaking, and even giving lectures and tutorials at the university level. So the disparity between where I am and where I want to be is not that large. But still, if you go back and look at where I started only less than 2 weeks ago, you can see incremental but consistent improvement across the videos. That's not to say that every single video is better than the last. In fact, some of them are worse because I'm playing around with things and I'm just willing to play and take action and see where it leads me. But the overall trajectory is up, and not just up, but in the direction that I'm aiming, which is the improvement of my video capabilities. Now, keep in mind, Napoleon Hill's book is called Think and Grow Rich. So his investigation was into the secrets of financial success. Some of these soldiers of success are specifically related to finances, like soldier number 2, the habit of saving, and habit number 9, doing more than paid for. But the rest of the list, as you can see, can really be applied to anything. What I would argue is that the book Think and Grow Rich, the heavy emphasis should not be on the rich part. The heavy emphasis is on the think and grow part. If you read the book, it has nothing to do with how to sleaze your way into money or sleazing other people out of theirs either. The focus of the book is on the fact that the way you think will determine what you become. So the emphasis is not on the rich part, the emphasis is on the think and grow part. And if you apply the principles of thinking and growing towards riches, you will naturally become rich. You will naturally become wealthy and successful. But if you apply the same principles to losing weight, to getting better at video making, to getting stronger, to having better relationships, to having more money, to having a better career, to having basically a life of fulfillment. If that is your focus, then you can apply all of these same principles and you will still be successful, because these soldiers of success are not limited to the realm of financial wealth. I'm going to briefly cover each of the soldiers. So we have, top of the list is a definite chief aim. Every single successful person had an aim and a vision, and they went after it. Not every person had every item on the list, but most of them had most. So if we want to be successful, we need to have an aim. We need to have the habit of saving, or in other words, paying ourselves first, taking care of ourselves first, making sure that we get ourselves in a position where we can help others, or we can accumulate enough so that we're not a burden on others. And then number three, of course, we have to be self-confident. We have to have confidence in our abilities to become the kind of person we want to become. In order to do that, it takes a degree of imagination. We have to first be able to creatively imagine what we could be in the future, and then apply our mind towards that thing. And that takes initiative. It means that we have to stop waiting for the world to come to us, or success to come to us, or riches to come to us, or strength, or honor, or relationships, or weight loss. We have to go out and get them. We have to take the initiative to do it. One of the things that successful people do is they grow into great leaders. First, they learn how to lead themselves, and then they become leaders of others. People who are successful and wealthy are naturally enthusiastic about their endeavors of life. Because without the enthusiasm, without that intrinsic motivation, then it's very hard to maintain persistence over a long period of time. Either way, whether you are intrinsically or extrinsically motivated, a core component of success is having the ability to control yourself, control your impulses, and point them in the direction of your choosing. Now, if you're in a situation where you're in the wrong job, this often applies really well to being in a meaningless, low-paid job. It doesn't mean you should quietly quit and do just the absolute bare minimum to get by. In fact, rather the opposite. If you want to be successful, you should prove in every single thing that you do that you are a valued and invaluable person. And so you should aim to do more than you're paid for. When I coach people, even though there is an investment, there is a price that they're paying for me, I always try to deliver way more in the use value than the actual monetary value that I'm given. So by doing more than you're paid for, you will constantly have good relationships, and you will be seen as someone who is successful, someone who is reliable and diligent. And also, of course, having a pleasing personality. Being someone who can get along with others is really important, and thinking accurately, understanding the thoughts that are in your head so that you are not manipulated by biases and propaganda and external forces that are trying to control your mind. You need to understand how to think. You need to understand how to calibrate the thoughts that go into your head. There's also the ability of concentration, not being distracted by meaningless BS in the environment. TV watching, social media scrolling, gossip, these kinds of things are absolute poison to the mind of a successful person. And if these are things that are taking up too much of your time, then strongly you'd be advised to get rid of them so that you can concentrate on the things that are meaningful, so that you can elevate yourself towards success. The ability to cooperate with others is absolutely fundamental as well. People don't get successful just by themselves. They need a team. They need a network around them. And also being willing to fail, being willing to look stupid, asking stupid questions. This is highly valuable because that's how you learn. The next is being tolerant of others, the fact that they have different worldviews, different opinions. And despite all of these factors, still applying the golden rule, treating others as you'd like to be treated, or not treating others in a way that you would not like to be treated. And finally, we come to the mastermind. The mastermind is a key principle of success and thinking and growing rich. And that means to surround yourself with other minds, create a collective mind with people who embody the principles that you want to embody. Be surrounded by the type of people that are similar to who you want to become. You may have heard the idea that you are the average of the 5 people closest to you. Well, if that's the case, have a look around you and see who you spend most of your time with. Are they lazy? Do they gossip? Do they watch TV? Do they read the news? Do they listen to propaganda? Do they bring you down? Do they jab at you when you try to be successful? Do they revel in victimhood mentality? If you're surrounded by people like this and you would like to change, you may very well need to surround yourself with new people. And so this, again, is one of the key principles that I apply in my coaching, is to collect and surround myself with people who are successful, people who are healthy, people who are wealthy, people who have accurate thoughts, people who are willing to challenge themselves and grow, and distance myself actively from people who have a poisonous mentality, a victimhood mentality. By doing this, you become rock solid. And if you can form a support network, if you can form a team of people around you who are focused on success, who are focused on becoming better, then you will naturally, just by osmosis, become the better version of yourself. So by focusing on success and being surrounded by people who are also focused on success, success becomes your destiny. And so that is why we use the mastermind principle in our coaching. And what that means is each week, a group of like-minded people focusing on success, focusing on bettering themselves, focusing on improving their mind, improving their behavior, improving their habits, improving any aspect of their life. We all meet together and we go through a basic formula. First, we come together and we meet for at least 90 minutes. That gives us plenty of time to discuss and chat and enjoy each other's presence. And we start with a lot of banter and we start with winning. We start with an exploration of what things we've done this week that we can count as success. And by constantly celebrating success and being surrounded by people who are celebrating their success, success becomes part of our culture. It becomes part of our DNA. So the first thing we do is when we meet, we celebrate our success and we talk about it actively. It's not arrogant to celebrate success. In fact, that is a huge limiting belief that a lot of people have, is that they think they shouldn't be celebrating their success, or they shouldn't be proud of those things. In fact, they often hide them away. But that's a symptom of being surrounded by people who try to bring you down. So that's the first way we start. We start by celebrating success. The second thing we do is we come together for some particular purpose. And so as the leader of this group, what I do is I present a small bit of information, maybe 10, 15, or 20 minutes, that just outlines a current topic, a current food for thought, anything in the realm of human psychology, organization, productivity, adventure, joy, having fun, understanding our body's energy, understanding our minds, anything that we can use to focus our mind and recalibrate ourselves again for the mission that we have, which is to become successful and to aim high at a thing that we want to do. So after we've celebrated success, after we've had a little bit of content, then what we do is we go into a Q&A. And in the Q&A, members of the mastermind bring a question relating to their particular journey from who they were to who they're trying to become. And so we spend the majority of the time just going back and forth with questions. And the beauty of this process is that if I have a problem, it may be something that you've dealt with specifically, and you can give insight into how you overcame that problem. And if we have a new member, let's say, then they can hear how I ask questions and what problems I have and how you solve that problem. And by being in that environment, they learn about how to ask questions, how to improve themselves, and what kinds of solutions will work when they eventually have that problem. Which means you're surrounded by successful people. You're surrounded by people who are humble enough to acknowledge their faults and improve them. And then you learn about challenges and problems that you may not even have encountered yet. So everybody, to some degree, is an expert in their own life, and also humble enough to recognize expertise outside themselves and to learn from it. So this is a brief introduction to what a mastermind is. I will be talking more about these in coming videos, but I think it's worthwhile people knowing that there are alternatives of socialization that are not based around things like drinking alcohol, partying, or just celebrating the weekend. There are also methods of socializing that are not just through social media. I've talked at some length about my misgivings with social media, but the reason I'm back here broadcasting these videos is that the Mastermind Academy and my School of Alchemy are antidotes to the type of mind that social media enforces. A reaction-based race to the bottom of people always just looking on and never participating. In fact, that is a model increasingly adopted by the universities as well. So to some degree, what I'm building with the Mastermind Academy and with the School of Alchemy, we are an antidote to both social media and the university system, which is producing people without thought, without free will. It's producing people who have less capability of taking action and who are simply onlookers, voyeurs in a world increasingly void of meaning and authenticity. So in the mastermind, we value authenticity. You don't have to be a perfect person, but you do have to be aiming at success. And if you're willing to be surrounded by people who are also aiming at success, then you yourself will become successful. In essence, what we're doing is creating an environment that's conducive to success, conducive to excellence. Now, I've talked in the past that we are primarily males, and that is true for the moment, but we will soon have both a feminine and a mixed approach. So if you're a man and you're looking to be surrounded by other men who are successful and who are aiming towards success, please feel free to reach out. If you're a woman who's in the same boat and would like to be a part of a growing group of women who are also focused on excellence and success and want to be surrounded by people who are in pursuit of excellence for themselves, then also please reach out because we have things coming. So that's all from me today, and I will be talking about these topics in future videos. So if this is something that interests you, I will put my link tree and my schedule in the comments here, so please feel free to reach out. And I really look forward to hearing what you're going through, what you're aiming at, and see if there's some way I can help. Cheers.